and thanks so much for joining us today. We are excited to introduce you to a new nonprofit in Columbia, Missouri called Girls on the Run. And joining me to talk about this fabulous new organization is this lovely group of women here. Thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to get started, so I want to introduce everyone real quickly. This is Dawn Brown. She's a board member of Girls on the Run. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This is Nancy Yeager. She is the council director and also a parent of a young woman that we have with us here, Sydney. She is a Girls on the Run participant. Then we have Gretchen Yancey, and she is a board member. Thank you for joining us, and a parent as well to these two lovely girls here, Grace and Faith. So to get started, for those that don't know, what exactly is Girls on the Run?
Well, Girls on the Run is an after-school program for 3rd through 5th grade girls, and we use running to facilitate the program, but it's not really about running. It's about things that really prepare them for middle school and the peer pressures that they're going to face once they get into that age group. So we go through things like talking positive to yourselves, how to have gratitude, how to have positive role models and positive friends, things like that to just really help them become more self-confident. And then we do teach them as we're going, we use running in the program, and by the end they've set the goal of running a 5K, and at the end we have a 5K for them to run.
So to clarify, the girls that join the program sign up for and complete a 5K at some point?
Yes.
Okay, which is how long of a run?
It's 3.1 miles.
So you girls, you're going to run 3.1 miles?
This will be our second time.
Wow, that is very impressive. It's very, very impressive that girls that age can run that distance. So how do you prepare them for actually running the distance?
Well, what we do is just each practice, we go out and just each time we run further and further. So sometimes it's a game that they're doing. They don't even really realize they're running that long. Like we had one time it was freeze tag, but they're running around the track while they're playing freeze tag. And each time we're running, we also emphasize what we've taught them that day. So an example is when they come by their track mark, and for a lap, they tell us something positive that is in a good friend. Something to just emphasize what we have been teaching them that day, so it just sinks in a little bit more.
So that's the main mission. The main mission isn't the running, although very impressive. The main mission is the self-esteem and the positive awareness that you're giving the girls. Can you guys talk a little bit more about that?
I think one of the missions of the program is that we recognize that girls are experiencing intense peer pressure at a younger and younger age, starting in 2nd, 3rd grade. Girls on the Run also recognizes that girls at this age are still impressionable and influenced by the adults in their lives. So our goal is to catch them early and help them learn how to handle gossip, how to not participate in it, how to handle when it's about them, how to handle bullying, how to deal with the peer pressures that they face at such a young age, how to realize that what they see on the cover of Teen Magazine or whatever it is they're reading now, that's not real, that's airbrushed, it's computer generated, it's not a real body, and they don't have to strive to be like that. So those are some of the big messages. A lot of times in our games that we play, when we're talking about how to handle gossiping, we give them some role playing. So they come to us and we give them a situation, and they have to practice how to respond to that and then run along on their way until they come back and get a new situation.
That's sounds incredible. It sounds like a lot of fun, to say the least. If I were watching today and had a young girl that I thought would be a great participant, how would I get my daughter involved?
You want me to go with that? We have a website, and it's www.heartofmissourigirlsontherun.org. Very long. But we are going to start our next session probably late February, early March, and it is in just certain schools right now. It's going to be New Haven, Fairview, Mill Creek, and Midway. Now, if for some reason we don't fill those schools, we do open it to anyone that wants to bring their daughter over. But we don't really anticipate that. We actually had to turn girls away this season at the 2 schools we were in. But they just need to start watching our website for when the registration is going to open, so that they can make sure they get their daughter in as one of the first 15 girls at that school.
So you have 4 schools. They're going to be starting up, and they're going to go all the way through till the spring. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and say the 4 schools again.
It's Midway, Mill Creek, Fairview, and New Haven.
Okay, so if you are a student at one of those schools, you'll get first priority to join one of the groups, and it's an after-school program, is that right?
Yes.
And what's the time commitment look like there?
4 to 5:30 is when the girls
And
meet.
that's 2 days a week for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
This season, we were Monday, Wednesday from 4 to 5:30, so.
Yeah,
that
and it
can
just
change,
depends.
but
Yeah, it
no,
depends on the
depends on our
school
coaching and
our
the school
coaches.
setup, but they're going to have 20 lessons with us over a 10-week period and then run their 5K.
And are you hoping to expand into other schools?
Oh, definitely. We actually already have schools that are on the waiting list that have contacted us, like that we didn't even go talk to yet. They emailed us because they'd heard how great the program was. So our goal is each season to just add more and more schools.
This will eventually not just be a Columbia program. The first year we're staying in Boone County. After that, we can expand. We've had calls from Jeff City, Marshall, Booneville, all over the region. This is huge in Kansas City, St. Louis, the Springfield area, and long overdue in Columbia. So there's a lot of energy coming about and a lot of people wanting to bring this to their community.
And we were talking just a little bit earlier, too, about being a coach, being a volunteer, some other ways that adults or even young adults might be able to get involved in that way. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. We have coaching opportunities. We actually need at least three coaches at every school. You can coach if you're 18 or over. You can be a junior coach if you're 16 to 18. And so we definitely have a need for that because that's one of the reasons we can't move into more schools, faster because we need to make sure we ensure that we have the coaching staff that we need. We need volunteers all of the time from helping with marketing, every department pretty much, we will take volunteers in. So if you have expertise in marketing or expertise in public relations, you can come talk to us and any help is really, really appreciated. And then also at our 5K that we do at the end of each season, we obviously need quite a few volunteers for that and there's the opportunity to help with that also.
Sounds great. So I see the young women here stirring a little bit. Can I ask you guys some questions about the program?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Let's start with Sydney. What is your favorite part about the program?
That we get to run and learn about all different kinds of things.
Really? Like what kinds of different things do you learn?
Like we learn not to bully, and we learn about like a community, and we learn like the people on the magazines that we read that look really that look beautiful. It's not really real.
Really? Yeah. That's pretty much true from what I understand. So Grace, your mom was here and was helping us learn about how you learn different lessons each week. What has been your favorite lesson?
Well, I pretty much.
Nancy was talking about that you had to run around a track and then you had to say something nice about someone else, something positive.
Yeah.
How did that feel when somebody said something positive about you?
Well, I felt happy because, like, some people at my school, they don't say really nice things to me, so that was, like, a compliment to me.
And that makes you feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Faith? What has been your favorite lesson?
Well, my favorite lesson has been when our group would go outside and we'd bring a chair with us, and Coach Maggie or Coach Nancy would tap us on the shoulder, and we would go sit in a chair, and every one of us of our teammates would run up and say like a couple compliments to us and run back.
So what kinds of things did they say about you that were nice?
Like, it's good to have you as a friend, and you teach me a lot of things.
That would make me feel really good if someone said those things about me, too. I can totally understand that. Is it hard to run?
Well, no, not really.
It's not?
It's not.
Sydney says no, it's not hard to run. It sounds like it would be so
The
hard.
5K would probably, but running normal probably isn't.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys nervous for the 5K?
Not really.
No, you're all old pros, right? You've done it before?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is my first time.
Oh, it is.
We've done the practice 5K. We haven't done the actual 5K though.
Can you tell them about your running buddy?
My running buddy's gonna be my mommy.
What does that mean? You're going to have a running buddy during the race, or do you have a running buddy all the time?
We have a running buddy during the race because, like, if, like, they keep encouraging us to go, and we do it to them too.
You might get tired.
They support us.
That sounds wonderful. Are you going to make your mom carry your water bottle? Wait a minute, she'd have to carry. Would she have to carry two? Are you going to be the running buddy for both of them?
No, we have a group of running buddies. Her dad's going to be her running buddy, and I'm going to be Grace's running buddy. So
Each of the girls, when they do their 5K, has a running buddy who goes with them. So those little jogs that take you in a different direction than they might expect, they don't get on the wrong track, and just to give them that support while they're out there in the middle of the race, keep them going and encourage them, that kind of thing. So they all will have their own personal buddy.
That sounds like fun. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys in turn, starting with Grace, if you were going to talk one of your friends into joining, how would you talk them into joining? What would you tell them?
I'd say that Girls on the Run is a really fun group. And after school, we go to our playground and there's a track, and we'll run around them each time. Sometimes we'll get a sticker every time we run around the track, and that'll keep how much times we run around the track. So
You sold me.
it's a great group.
It's a great group. It does sound great. How would you talk someone into being a part of your group?
I would probably tell them that it's a great program and it teaches you important things that you should do and not do in your life. You should join this group because you get to go outside and have fun with your friends, and sometimes you get stickers or something on our practice 5K.
Those are really good reasons.
We got to make a big chain that had 140 beads on it.
Wow. What was the chain and the beads for?
It was our Girls on the Run cord.
Girls on the Run cord. Well, can one of the moms and
that?
board members, tell us what the Girls on the Run cord is all about?
well, I was only there for one lesson. You guys the coaches are teaching about the Girls on the Run cord every week, so I'll let you do it.
Okay.
The Girls on the Run cord is one of the first lessons they do, and we're helping them visualize what it feels like, first of all, to be plugged into what they call the negative cord. And they talk about how it's all gummed up with mucky, slimy, nasty stuff. But that's how we feel when we're plugged into these negative thoughts. When we have the negative self-talk going on, I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I can't do this, nobody likes me, all of those kinds of things. So we visualize how it feels to be plugged into that cord, how it also feels to be around somebody who's plugged into that cord, and they're like, not good, I don't want to be with them. And then we say, take that, unplug it, now plug in a positive cord. This one is clean, it's sparkly, light shines beautifully from it. It's who you are when you're plugged into the positive cord. And we work on making sure that's the cord we're plugged into. And if we're not, how can we change that? If we're around somebody who's not plugged into that, what do we do and how do we handle that? So being plugged into the positive cord is a really big theme throughout the whole program.
That sounds incredible. Now, you guys are not only board members and council president, but you're moms of girls who are involved. So, removing the board member hat and putting on the mom hat, what has it been like to see your girls go through this?
You know, it's been really amazing to watch them go through it. I thought at the beginning, maybe I was pressuring them a little to be participants because I am on the board, and so I was trying to kind of stand back and let them have their reactions to the program. And I'm a runner too, and so we went out running in our neighborhood one day, and we were headed up a hill, and I started to say, they were kind of getting tired, and I started to say, oh, let's just make it a little further. And Grace said, I know what we can do. Sometimes I set little goals for myself so we can just try to get a little farther and a little farther. And it was really touching to hear, because I've heard about the programming and stuff at our board meetings, but it was really touching to hear her actually get it, and to talk about things that are so important for kids to learn that it's difficult for them to learn without, some hard knocks as far as setting goals and things like that. And Faith has been great as far as really putting her mind to it and recognizing that, like Don was speaking of, the negative talk and how that can really affect you. And if you believe that you can do it and you just keep working at it, that you can actually do it. Faith, we went on a long run not long ago, and she ran for a long distance without having to stop. It was pretty impressive. So it's just been really amazing to see. In addition, they have met, Fairview's a pretty small elementary school, but they have met friends in the program that they weren't already friends with before. And because of the things that they talk about in the program and the experiences they share, I think they've become a lot closer to a different group of friends than maybe they would have made had they not participated in the program. So I'm thrilled with them participating and hope that maybe they'll keep participating because the girls can continue to participate in season after season if they want.
Oh, that's neat. And are you equally pleased with how your daughter has been doing?
Yes. My daughter, sometimes I call her my little mini-me, and she runs. I'm a runner. So that wasn't new to her, but she did actually come. I pick her up from her school and take her over to Fairview because that's where I coach. So I was a little worried about her being in a group where she hardly knew the girls. She knew these two already and a couple other girls in there. But besides that, they were mostly new people to her. And just watching her make friends in the new school was awesome, just to kind of watch and see her. And each week, she didn't just stick with the same people, and I saw that throughout the whole group. The other thing is just she learned to open up more about things that were happening at her school to me, I think, because of the things we talked about at Girls on the Run and some of the things that went on about choosing your friends, and she really opened up about her best friends at her school and how they weren't really into letting you choose who else you could hang out with. And so, just the fact she opened up to me was incredible.
Boy, that's huge.
Yeah.
I know, especially at this age, to get them to tell you more than everything's fine, Mom.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
or,
I don't know. That's the common one at our house. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's been really neat.
We've had the girls say so many profound things. I think one of the Fairview girls at one point said, "I think I get it. When you see your inner beauty, everyone else can see it too." And I just marveled. I thought she's 9 or 10, and to figure that out at that age is pretty incredible. We had another girl say, I find myself trying to be nicer and not want to bully others anymore.
wow.
And that's going to really get her a long ways.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had some girls, we asked them a little bit at the end of the session what was different. One girl was at the beginning, "But I'm not a long distance runner, I'm a sprinter." And she's so proud now that she can do 3 miles. Another one is really outgoing and energetic and has great enthusiasm, but she said, I'm setting better goals for myself. She goes, I used to set them, but they weren't really things that were out of reach. Now I set a bigger goal that I really have to work toward. So
Wow.
they're stretching themselves in lots of different ways.
Wow, that's fantastic. It really does sound like a fantastic program. And as I said at the beginning, it is a nonprofit, which means you guys really rely on the help of friends and neighbors, so to speak. So can you tell us a little bit about the kinds of fundraising opportunities and how people can get involved?
Well, our first big one is we did a sponsorship drive with local businesses, and that has been incredible. The response was enormous. We have Commerce Bank on as a platinum sponsor. We have Addison's and Sophia's. We have House of Brokers. We have Columbia Orthopedic Group, Tiger Pediatrics, CenturyLink, Kilgore's. Who else am I?
Lots of familiar Columbia names.
Yes.
Let me see you there.
They're all on the back of the t-shirts.
Fit, the Body Combat Chicks at Fit, and Columbia Dentistry for Children. So they've been incredibly generous and supportive in getting us started. We literally could not have done it without the corporate sponsorships. From then, our board members have been incredible in begging, borrowing from family and friends to get us going as well. And now we have several fundraisers on tap.
And those fundraisers, are they now? Are they in a while from now? What are some of those fundraisers look like that are coming up?
Do you want to talk about Soulmates first?
Well, yeah, I can talk about Soulmates. We have a program that we're starting called Soulmates, and what the Soulmates do, they are basically the running and fundraising partners of the local chapter of Girls on the Run. Basically, anyone can be a soulmate, so it's an opportunity for men to also get involved with the organization, because so far we've just talked about girls, 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 and there is a spot for men to help out too.
Men, uncles,
with
friends.
Right. And so basically what the Soulmates do is they run a race and designate Girls on the Run as kind of their charity for running the race, and as they're training, they raise money and donate that money to Girls on the Run. Any runner can choose any race and say that they want to register as a soulmate, which will get them some benefits from us as far as a T-shirt recognizing them as a soulmate, and some different swag, as we say. So they can designate any race that they want and raise money. We also have kind of a team focus on training for specific kind of target races. Spring is a big time for races, the month of April. So we have a half marathon training program that we're going to start at about the last of January that'll run for 10 or 12 weeks with the target of completing that race. And so what we will provide for the Soulmates are some group runs, a couple of group runs each month, so we can have the social interaction and both the support for the training goal. We'll provide fundraising support, so different ideas how individuals can fundraise, and also some group fundraisers that everyone can use to benefit. Nutrition tips, route ideas, race ideas, all those different kind of things are benefits that we'll be providing to the Soulmates in exchange for them, putting in the time and fundraising for us. So we're hoping that program will be starting with the January training. We have an informational meeting that we'll be having on December the 14th at the ARC, in one of the meeting rooms there, starting at 7 o'clock. So if people are interested in signing up, they can come to that informational meeting and just find out more details about what it's all about. Then if people do choose to sign up, then we'll have a kickoff. We're having a kickoff party at Shakespeare's in January for the people that have signed up for Soulmates, so we can kind of get the season underway.
So to be clear, if I wanted to run a half marathon, even if I'd never run one before, I could join with this group, and then you'd basically help me get to the finish line.
Right.
Literally and figuratively.
Right. And
okay.
And people can run any length of race. It doesn't have to be a marathon or a half marathon. It can be a 10K, or it can even be a 5K if that's what your goal is. If you haven't run anything before and you don't want to commit to doing a half marathon or a marathon, we'll provide a training plan that's been developed by Girls on the Run International for any length of those races. A 5K, which is 3 miles, a 10K, which is a little over 6, a half marathon, which is 13, and then the full marathon, which is 26 miles. And we'll provide support for any of those things. The fundraising goals are also different depending on which length of race that you choose. So.
And you have a couple other fundraisers. There's a shopping fundraiser for all of you non-at-all runners. Shopping is exercise, right?
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, on December 10th, I got this idea actually because they did it with the new Catholic high school, and I said, well, why don't we do this closer to the holidays? So on December 10th, you can come to the Stony Creek Inn and shop, and there's going to be over 20 vendors that sell everything from jewelry to makeup to candles, handbags, just tons of different things, and you can pretty much like a one-stop shopping event. And we're really raising the money by the vendors paying a fee. The Stony Creek Inn donated the room for us, so that all the fees from the vendors do go to Girls on the Run. And then we will, maybe have some ways to win some things too, to make a little, but we'll also have buckets obviously for donations too.
Is there an entry fee to get into the shopping events?
No.
No. So it's free. You can just come and shop, get some Christmas shopping done, and tell us again when that date is.
It's December 10th, and it's 9 to 12:30 at the Stony Creek Inn.
Okay, and we're a little bit, believe it or not, running out of time. But I did want to also let you guys talk a little bit about the Pepsi Challenge and what you're up for there. That's, a pretty big deal.
We're crossing our fingers. We submitted a Pepsi Refresh Challenge grant. Pepsi basically takes some of the money they would in the past have spent on Super Bowl ads and gives it back to communities. And so we are up for $10,000 in our category. The top 15 get funded. We are stalled out at 19. People watching can vote once a day online and once a day via text until November 30th. You can send the message 109-389 to 73774 or go to refresheverything.com. If you type in Missouri, Heart of Missouri Girls on the Run comes up right away. You do have to create an account, put in your email, and then you can log in every day and give us a vote. So we're hoping to see a big push up into that top 15. We don't need to be number one, but we want to be in the top 15.
So everybody in the top 15 gets
Right.
$10,000 towards their nonprofit.
And for us, that's going to go towards expanding the council next fall in other schools and communities. So most of it's going to go into scholarships. One thing we haven't mentioned is no girl is turned away. We do have a fee to be part of the program, but no girl gets turned away based on inability to pay, which means we need a scholarship fund. So we're always looking for grants. We call them buddy sponsors who can help with that. Pepsi could be one of those
Your ticket
options.
there. So vote, especially
Every day.
if you have a texting feature on your phone or any sort of access to a computer, definitely vote and get that money for Columbia's Girls on the Run program. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, young ladies. Good luck to you on your 5K that's coming up. Nancy, if you would you tell us the email, or not the email, the website address one more time to your organization, where I'm guessing most of this information will be recapped that we talked about today?
It's www.heartofmissourigirlsontherun.org.
And you guys have a Facebook presence as well?
Yes, we do.
So you can, search them on Facebook. That's always a popular way to find organizations.
Yep.
Well, thank you again so much, everyone, for explaining everything to do with Girls on the Run in the heart of Missouri. And we, of course, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
What do we say at the end of every session? Girls? Go for it.
Girls on the Run is
Girls on the Run is so much fun. I know. It can be hard in front of an audience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.